Hey everyone, time for another Comcape secret. Today I'm going to show you how to turn a Dragon Defender into a Drygor offhand. No, kidding, well, partially. Alright, so let me say something quickly about dual wield versus two-handed items. The God Swords are powerful weapons, particularly the Saradomin God Sword because of the healing ability for your hit points, your constitution, and your prayer. Chaotic Maul versus Chaotic Dual Wield, it really comes out to be basically the same thing when you're using the standard abilities along with the abilities specific to that type, excluding multi-target attacks. When you use multi-target attacks, two times weapons, dual wield, winds up being slightly more powerful. Hurricane and Earthquake will only hit once, a decently high number to surrounding targets, whereas Flurry will hit multiple numbers, and you can also catch monsters as they're walking in because you're hitting multiple times, and it just winds up being better. I've tested a lot, believe me. Now, it really does come out to be about the same, very close, within a percent or so between weapons of the same class, dual wield versus two-handed. So Chaotic Maul versus the dual wield Chaotix, it really comes out to be the same, like I said, excluding multi-target abilities. Now, you get up into Drygor, of course Drygor is going to be superior because it's higher level, so regardless of dual wield or two-handed, it's going to be superior than the Chaotix. But what I was mentioning about turning a Dragon Defender into a Drygor offhand. Now, today is just basically a closer examination of abilities. So you have some abilities that if I take my offhand off, okay, now this one is grayed out or darkened out because it's a basic ability, but it requires two weapons. I can't move my mouse over to show you because then it gets off there. Anyway, you can see where it has the 2x symbol. It requires two times weapons, dual wield. Now, if you read this, instantly attack with both weapons damage for 100%, with both weapons for 100% of both weapons damage. That's important. Both weapons, you see it's plural. Now, if we go over to, say, destroy, this is also a very powerful attack. Much more powerful than Havoc that I just showed you. Perform a destructive attack dealing damage equal to 188% weapon damage over 6 seconds, whatever. The rest is not as important for what I'm explaining to you. It only says 188% weapon damage. This is based off of your main hand weapon. It requires two weapons. You see the 2x symbol. It is based off of your main hand weapon. So, whether I have a Dragon Defender on, or a Drygor offhand, or a Bronze offhand, that ability here, Destroy, is going to hit the same amount. This is true for any other 2 times ability, except for Massacre. This, again, says rend your target dealing up to 150% of both weapons damage. Okay? Massacre and Havoc, which is also linked with, it's somewhere in here. Decimate. I don't have my 2 weapons on, that's why I'm missing it. Okay? These are on the same cooldown, Havoc and Decimate. So one is just the difference is basically for PvP purposes, and this requires a higher strength level. So, and this also is true for ranging abilities, that it requires, where is it? Yeah, right here. Okay, it requires an offhand, but it says target takes 120% weapon damage. There's a lot of controversy right now about the Ascension crossbows, how the offhand is useless. Well, it's technically not useless, just like how Drygor offhands are not useless, because when you get in auto attacks, yes, your offhand is going to hit, and it's going to be based off of that damage with the auto attacks. So if you're using momentum, dual wield weapons and having 2 of the same class are an excellent choice. However, if you're just dual wielding for the more powerful abilities, which I would definitely say dual wield abilities are more powerful than two-hander abilities, not like, oh my god, they're on opposite sides of the street, but they're more powerful. You will come out to do more damage per minute and get more kills and thus more XP in set amount of time, minute, hour, whatever kind of time span you want to use. So the thing I mentioned about the Dragon Defender is that so you can get a little bit of defense here, you can get some life points. Now, Again, the damage and accuracy you see on here, even though it's red, that's for auto attacks. Your offhand is not going to hit. If you look at my bar, this is my General Slayer bar for dual wield, okay? These are all based off of the main hand. Here is based off of 2, so yes, that 1 would make a difference. Again, main hand, this is based off of 2. This really I wouldn't use for Slayer too often. It would be more also for bosses. Flurry, it requires 2, but it is based off of main hand damage. Destroy, based off of main hand damage, okay? So it doesn't matter if I have a Dragon Defender or a Drygore offhand. Of course, if you can afford the more expensive offhand when we're talking about Drygores or Chaotix, if you have the tokens, then go for it. It turns out to be slightly more beneficial. But if you're at a crossroads, you're not sure how you want to do it. If you want to get, you have say 200k tokens, and you don't know if you want to get the Maul or a Rapier or a Longsword or a Claw, I guess even for the critical bonus on that, you do not need the matching offhand. You can replace it with anything and still have access to the dual wield abilities and do the same damage, excluding Havoc and Massacre. So I know I've repeated myself a few times in this video already. I just want to get that point across. You just need an offhand of any type to have access to the offhand abilities, and most of them are based off of your main hand's damage. So that's how you turn a Dragon Defender into a Drygore offhand. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week.